Hello, everybody. My name is Corey Franzen, and I'd like to share with you my final video for our Strategic Human Resources class that we're just finishing up this week. And I'm sure all of you enjoyed this course as much as I did. And I just wanted to share a few of the highlights for me and some of the things that I found most interesting and most exciting throughout the course. Really, on a macro scale, what I enjoyed most about the course was just kind of how human resources management can fit into that bigger strategic level scale of any corporation and being involved in those organizational level decisions. I think, at least myself, I had a lot of preconceived notions about human resource management and how it was just kind of a niche part of any organization. You know, they did the hiring, the firing, maybe some of the training, dealing with personnel problems, issues, things like that. And I never really understood how much value added can be when human resource management has a seat at the table for making those high level decisions. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, right? Because any kind of big organizational training or manpower or production changes are all going to rely on those things that human resource manages, like how many employees you have and what their productivity level is, what's their morale, what's their motivation to implement this change. So really, HRM has its fingers in so many parts of the organization that it only makes sense that they would be involved in those strategic type decisions. But to be effective at that, they really need to, HRM really needs to take hold of those four core competencies that our book highlights. And I just wanted to bring those up again because I think for any HR department to be successful, they've really got to embody these four objectives. And the first one of those is personal credibility. So you've got to have credibility, you've got to produce results, and you've got to be professional. The second one, leading right into that, is delivering results. When you set an objective, can the people in your HR department deliver on that and kind of hold up their end of the bargain when they're in that strategic position and trying to push the company forward? The third one, HRM knowledge. So this is kind of being your subject matter expert. If you don't know the intricacies of your own department, how to most effectively manage that human capital within your company, then I would argue you're not bringing a lot of value to that organization. And the fourth one, there's business knowledge. Can you share the same language? Can you understand the concepts from the operations side of the corporation? And I think you build a lot of credibility when you know more than just your role. You know how you fit into the bigger picture, and you can have a intelligent discussion with other managers from other branches and be able to speak their same language. And that's kind of operating on that strategic scale. So to relate it to something I know in the Air Force, like as lower ranking officers, you might be more on that tactical level. You're an expert and you're given airplane, and then as you get higher up the ladder there, you're expected to think more on a strategic level. How does this affect the big picture? And I think that's similar in the HR world. Kind of scaling that down, some things that I liked from this course more on a micro level. One of them that stuck out to me, I think it was chapter 11, with deliberately implementing change in a corporation. This kind of struck a chord with me because I've seen a lot of good ideas for change kind of fizzle out and die because the people who are trying to implement that change didn't understand that it should be a deliberate process. And they had a great idea. Maybe they brought it out too early. Without really that group of effective leaders who could help implement that change. They just kind of jumped in, and ultimately that change didn't get implemented, or it kind of fizzled out. So being deliberate about change, I think, and getting through those three states, the current state, the delta state, and the desired state. The only way you're going to get to that desired state is with a deliberate plan. And I found that I did a little research on the ADCAR model, and it's a simple acronym, but it's a great way to build a roadmap, if you will, to effective change in your organization. And I just think that's really key as a leader, from HR or from any managerial spot, really, to be able to get your point across and to um, effectively implement change. Um, so really, a lot of great stuff in this course, but those were some of the highlights for me. Thanks for listening, and looking forward to having courses with many of y'all in the future. Bye-bye.